Welcome back to the desk for patch notes time. It's 4.21. Pom, you're miles away from me.
Yeah, we're really far.
Makes me
so
feel
used
better.
to being close to you.
I'm so glad you're further away. This is the best amount of distance I've ever ridden from you.
I'm hurt.
4.21, Shadows over Acropolis is the name of the patch. I'm sure we'll get into that later, and the background will probably give away something about what's going on there.
There's a lot to cover, and we have some people here to talk about it.
We have a hell of a lot to cover today. Obviously, a lot of people have been talking about the new god that's out as well. We'll get to her later on. Maybe, if she decides to play fair. We'll find out. Let's go straight to gods, though. The actual skins for this patch. We're going to start off with Cursed King Kurnanos is the first one on the list. Cursed King Kurnanos will be available, and he's broken the mirror. That's what I've noticed.
Finally, Kurnanos gets a new skin. Like, that's actually different.
By the way.
It's a lot of bad luck.
Is he gentlemanly, do we reckon? I don't know, because I've not heard the voice back, but I want to say...
We'll find out later.
I hope so.
I
hope so, but, you know, it might be better. We'll find out. That's Cursed King Kurnanos, sorry. We've also got Agent of Darkness, Loki. Will be the next one up for you guys.
Oh, it's Loki.
Stealthy and assassin-y.
I was wondering who that was. All Loki mains are going to freak out over this one.
The skull on the belt.
Ah, he did it. He's also got. It looks like he's got like.
I was wondering who that was.
Chest too.
Yeah, he has a lot of nods to the adventure that they'll be talking about later.
It's like a chastity belt chest lock.
Yep.
More than anything else. That's Loki. Next up after that, we'll see. No, this one by the way. Primal Shaman Ganesha. Look at that.
Oh, he looks so cute.
That is a good
He's
skin.
all fluffy.
Yeah, this one will be really cool.
I don't even know. Just from the card art alone, like
at first, I thought it was going to be like a skull elephant, but it's pretty good.
So that's what I want from that one. I'm not even joking. That's Ganesha. Then after that, we've also got Exterminator Kali. Oh, she's looking very neon.
Yeah, she has.
She kind of looks like Freya.
Superheroine suit on.
With that new Freya skin.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the Kali one. We'll get to that, as well as Vanquisher Nemesis. Nemesis getting one as well. And, ooh, she looks slightly regal.
I have so many reasons to play my assassins this patch.
I don't know which one can you choose.
Got Loki, we got
a cool
Nemesis,
sword.
we got Kali.
And then you've got, after Nemesis, Arachne is getting a... I don't even know how to say this name of this one. Marcherie.
Whoa, she's a doll.
French accent.
That's pretty cool.
Great.
She's going to match... Yeah, Izanami's up there.
Yeah.
And then you've even got a little touch of Izanami in the corner, too.
Yeah, she's just kind of showing up there.
This card art is
pretty
amazing.
cool.
And after that, we've also got Wasteland Cucullin.
Oh, okay, he's like a Mad Max.
Great.
Dude, he has like scar tats.
Yes,
that's awesome.
Yes,
his spear's really cool looking too.
Yeah, the rage out form as well. At least what would be even better is if the other eye in his enraged form was actually covered by the patch instead.
Yeah, they just swapped.
Yeah, and you'd be like, wait, what? Like, listen, this is my whole counter eye more than anything else. And then we also have the Kali Mastery skins as well. Will be the other thing that we'll be seeing today. The Kali Mastery skins, we'll get to those too. So Kali going to get her updates.
She looks pretty.
That's all the skins for today.
Cool.
We'll get to those a little bit later on because Pom, it's that time to do balance.
Yes, everyone's favorite topic.
So talk to me about balance this patch. Obviously, this is the next patch that's going to be out after Super Regional, which is on right now. Like, what's going to be the goal of this patch?
So we have a few things going on this patch. We have a few item adjustments that were a bit underused. We have a few character adjustments that had been long since underperforming. Okay. We've kind of gone back, especially now between Super Regionals, World, Season 5 is starting to get really into full swing over here. We were looking at characters that have these kind of systematic problems with them where they're very, very underperforming. There's a few things that are clunky about their kit or make them very difficult to use properly. And so we have a few characters that we're going to hit, specifically Dodgy, Giannis, and Uller this patch.
Just leak everything.
Yeah, we're leaking at the start.
They've
been systematically underperforming for a long time. There's been reasons about like how we want to adjust them, gain the time to make sure that we do the adjustments correctly.
Definitely not a damage buff, because she can like one-shot
we'll get
people.
to those a little later on. I'm going to start things off though with item balance first of all. And 3 items on the docket this week. We're going to start off with Blackthorn Hammer, an item that's not been used too much. A decreased cost from
no one buys
gold
this
to
item.
200 gold. And increase the HB threshold for the passive to trigger from 30% to 40%.
This is an item that has a lot of stats that you might want as like a warrior, especially one that's going to engage a lot. It gives you a lot of health, it gives you power, but the passive trigger was a bit overvalued in terms of how much gold it contributed towards the item. Okay. Because it's difficult to use. You either have to be very aggressive.
I forgot what
with it,
even Blackthorn or Blackthorn Hammer did.
Or you have to react to getting that low and then use it very quickly, and sometimes it's not going to help you as much as it could. We're reducing the cost so that the stats are kind of more powerful on it, and then we're also increasing the passive threshold so that you have more control when it's going to proc. You have more time to react and use that actual cooldown reduction and free mana cost to your advantage. So this should make it a lot more usable for a lot of players. If you're a very aggressive style character and you want to like dive a tower and then get out really quickly, you leap in, kill them, get the cooldown reduction, get out, you're good to go.
So it definitely feels like a very warrior-esque item, if not assassins on the odd occasion too.
Yeah, if they need some defensive stats and maybe a bit of mana.
Stone of Foul is the next one up on the list, and Stone of Foul is going to get a cost reduction for that.
Yeah, I needed that. No one picked up this either.
Gold going to go down by 200 gold to 2,500.
Yeah, this is the item that gives you a good chunk of magical power, some protections, and then is the anti-burst. If he was going to ult you, you'd be like, yeah, that ult didn't really hurt me that much. But it's very situational because you have to pick it against the right circumstances.
Sure.
Yeah, you kind of have to pick it when it fits into your build properly, so you're not too far
behind.
I think
I might have bought this item once since it came out.
And so by lowering the cost, people can pick this up and fit it into their builds where they need it.
And last but not least, in terms of itemization today, it's going to be Relic Dagger is the last item. It's going to have a health increase from 250 to 300 this time round. So extra.
Oh, no.
Yeah, this is a kind of fun item that makes it so, like, especially support characters, they can build this into their build and then use these relics like
more
Shell
of their blinks
or Frenzy
and thorns
if they want
more
to go
often
Frenzy.
with more health.
They have the curses that they can
People
use
will probably start picking it up a little bit more.
By reducing the cooldowns by 30 seconds, you actually can use these a lot more rapidly. But it was hard to justify getting Relic Dagger when it slowed down how tanky you were in the match pretty effectively. You're not getting any protections from it. You're not reducing enemy power output through something like Jade Emperor's Helmet. So making it a bit tankier so that you get more health from it, you can actually fit this into support builds a bit more readily.
Looks like it might get some use. We'll see how that works out in the item balance. But that's it for items. It's time to move on to God balance. Pompon already gave a few away, but we're going to start off with Agni.
Yeah.
At the top of the shop. He's going to get a
he
bit
was
of
not one of the ones I mentioned.
Attack
no, he wasn't.
speed.
That's why I'm pleased.
That's
Agni,
interesting.
General, first of all, increased attack speed.
I guess that helps his passive.
To 1.2. That's actually pretty useful for stacking that passive on itself.
Yep.
Yeah, it's actually more consistent with other mages that have these kind of effects that you can use to stack passives like Nuwa or even the more auto-attack oriented characters like Freya, Kronos. They have a lot more attack speed per level. Agni was really, really on the low end for that, especially considering how important his passive is to get his damage output. We're bumping that up so he can more reliably get that
that's good
passive.
for Agni.
And second of all, Rain of Fire is also going to get an adjustment this patch. Increased magical power scaling from 60% to 70% per meteor. And
that's going to hurt.
From 20 seconds to 18 seconds per meteor as well.
Cool.
Ooh, he's going to be throwing a few more bombs out a bit more often.
Some spicy changes.
Agni bombs are so annoying.
A lot of people view him as like this midpoint of balance, but
he's pretty good though. He can hurt
with all these character adjustments, god adjustments, meta shifts, balance points for characters often shift. And Agni, even though he was kind of middle ground, he never really got above the middle ground, and he's kind of gone lower and lower and lower, consistently performing worse and worse and worse over time. Just largely because other mages can do things a little bit better than him in the late game. His early game has some things that you have to be very careful of. So we're increasing his overall late game power by making it so they can have these bombs more often, because he is this character that can poke from really long range, engage for your team with a stun. Letting that happen more often and be more impactful when it happens, as well as letting him actually get the passive up so that he can do damage with that, is going to help him out a ton.
Well, flame on for Agni. We'll see how that works out. Next up, though, is HydraGG, one of the ones that Pompon mentioned.
Yes.
Few things to read through here, so we're going to go down the list and then go to Pon for his review of them all. General, first of all, base health has been increased from 425 to 440. We've also increased the base health per level from 74 to 76. Then the basic attack chain has also changed. HydraGG's basic attack chain and animations have been updated. Hit chain is now 1-1-1, timing and damage. Each hit has a unique animation. Then horrible burns. On top of that, the HydraGG now benefits from haste, does not suffer basic attack movement penalty is what haste means, as well as while horrible burns is active. That's basically for that, just when it's active.
Audio wasn't working.
We've decreased the chain travel time from 0.5 to 0.3. Ooh, these are a lot of big changes.
Yeah, so we got a lot of feedback when HydraGG was released where her auto-attack chain kind of felt weird to use. It had very unique timings, which was kind of a new experiment for Assassins, and because it just didn't have the proper feedback, really, it was hard to actually use that where you wanted to. You felt like you should be hitting auto-attacks, and you weren't hitting auto-attacks. So now it's this 1-1-1 timing with unique animations to kind of go along with it, so they still feel like they have flair. But someone like, if you're used to auto-attack canceling on Thor, for example, where he just has this like standard 1-1-1 chain, it'll be very similar experience trying to weave auto-attacks in. We also made Horrible Burns, which is the one stim, work kind of like Kabrakan's one, where you actually can use it consistently, and even if you miss, you get haste, so you can keep up with the target.
That's cool.
So if you want to like chase someone and then use that, often you had to get like 2 auto-attacks off, and you'd be slowed from auto-attacking, and
might
miss
be
the second
coming
one because
back.
it just didn't work as well.
She was kind of a
so that will help her
clunky
actually
character.
the auto-attacks in both the timing changes and the horrible burn
She
change.
does
and
hurt,
the ultimate,
though.
we also had a lot of feedback where it was kind of difficult to hit. It was this skill that it was really slow and felt unresponsive, and so often people would get up there, throw them out. They were trying to figure out where to lead the target was really complicated. It was really difficult, and so we've now made this a bit easier to land by making it quicker. It also syncs up with the animation a bit better, so you actually have more direct feedback when you throw that out when it's going to hit the target.
Cool.
And then by having it go out quicker, players can do the kind of cheeky thing where they throw out only one and then immediately cancel off it to pull, so it kind of people don't like know if you're going to pull them or not immediately.
Gotcha.
So it does a lot of things for Dodgy. Overall, she'll be able to actually do the thing she was meant to do as Assassin, which is jump on a target, quickly get some auto attack cancels in, burn the target down, ult up in the air, and start doing her thing there.
Well, no Skeleton's around today, and I'm pretty sure
Pretty
he'll be happy
stuff.
about some of those changes for him. Hou-Yi is next one on the list to be looked at, and this time it's going to be a bit of a nerf this time round. Ricochet, the bonus damage now only applies to gods, so that means the jungle clear is going down for Hou-Yi.
Yes, so Hou-Yi's a character who kind of just struggles in general, but at the pro level, the ability to clear the jungle camps at level 1 very effectively and very quickly, kind of limited and stifled Hunter.
Bad for his wave clear too.
We saw even just the last match where he was picked once and banned twice. His ability to be very threatening as a Hunter pick was really stifling things, and so we're reducing that so that he's more kind of in line with other Hunters in the SPL level, and then we're going to keep a close eye on him how this affects his performance overall, because again, in other situations,
I think that'll affect his performance a lot.
So we'll keep an eye on him very closely to see if we need to make future adjustments to him.
So small, well, not small change, but a pretty decent change for the SPL level, but if it does affect casual base, you're going to look there too.
Yep.
Okay. Next up is Isis. We've not seen some Isis in a while. We may see some Isis after this change. It's going to be the Circle of Protection. He's going to get an increase in base damage. It's going to go from 160 to 320. Will now be 180 to 320. So early game increase in terms of damage output.
Yeah, so she has multiple things that scale on this. You have the base damage that goes up. You have the multiplication factor that goes up per level.
Yeah.
So
she used to be like the top mid laner pick too, and now she's.
Then you also had the amount of damage you needed to do to get those to
not
up.
in the
meta
at all.
Was late game it was doing what it needed to do. It was being very impactful and helping damage objectives or damage enemy teams, healing up your allies, just doing the things that Isis is kind of known for. But in the early game it was really underwhelming. You were often using it, you weren't healing or damaging enough. Most mages actually had more of a health swing with their ultimate, even when things were close to fully charged. And so by making it better off in the base level, she'll have more opportunity to use this aggressively or defensively in the early levels and actually have that impact happen.
Okay, so maybe Isis will get seen a little bit more play. She is pretty good in the early game in terms of wave clear at least, and that's one of the things a lot of people focus on. Next up, after I comes, well, close soon after J at least, Giannis, or Giannis, whichever way you want to call it, is up. This is a lot of changes again, so I'm going to read through them and we'll go over to Pompon. So Unstable Vortex you see on screen, increased base damage from 90 to 330, it's going to be 100 to 360. We've also increased the magical power scaling from 70% to 80%. Not only that, we have, however, decreased the double hit bonus from 30% to 20%. The old damage was 117 to 429 plus 91% scaling for you kids at home. So now the new damage total is going to be 120 to 432 plus 96% scaling.
Yep.
Yeah, his ult's gonna hurt a lot more now.
We also then have Through Space and Time.
You already got one shot from it from a long ways away, and now you definitely will.
Will now be 300 to 700 and 75% of your magical power. We have, however, decreased the scaling damage per distance traveled to cap out at 100% additional magical power scaling at 800 units, down from 200% at 800 units.
So, lots of text. TLDR, the changes is the Unstable Vortex, the 2, is going to...
It feels like more consistent damage, but less overall.
Yeah, well, it's a bit more if you hit both.
Right.
But essentially, if you hit only one, it's going to do significantly more damage than it currently does.
Okay.
If you hit both, it'll only do a very slight amount more than it currently does. Largely, when you're throwing this out in the middle of a team fight, you can use things to set it up, like the portal on the ground, get someone there.
Yeah.
But when you're just throwing it out in the team trying to look for damage, it was often... You either hit both or you hit only one, and if you hit both, you did a ton of damage, and if you hit one, it was very minuscule damage.
Sure.
Especially if you hit it on a few people, and only a few got hit by the one. So we're making him a bit more consistent as a damage dealer, so that he can deal more damage even if he doesn't directly hit it, and if he does directly hit it, he's still rewarded for it. And then for the ultimate, we're making it more consistent to use at mid to close range if you want to use it in lane.
But less
the
top end.
The snipe where you... You pretend that you did a whole bunch of complicated trigonometry to figure out where they were going to move to exactly from across the map, and you hit them and you one-shot them and then you won the game off of that. That's going to be far less likely to happen. You need to build a lot more magical power for something like that to happen. But you can actually use it in lane, especially if you have someone setting you up.
Snipes
are
the best, though. Across the world kill.
Deal some initial damage.
Or if you need to go to Full Fury. But yeah, the main thing here is he was underperforming for a long time, but he's been this kind of character that has a lot of utility and a lot of things about him that make him very valuable. And so we've left him there in kind of that state for a long time. After seeing his recent, like, last year performance, where he's kind of come in and out of things, but he was never too impactful or too determining of the meta, we figure it's time for him to get a little bit of bump of power so that people can use him more effectively, while people can still pick him for the unique aspect that he has and brings to a team.
Okay, and obviously with the Pro League going down for a little while, there's plenty of time to look at these changes too, and adaptations will be made if required.
Yep, we have till Worlds.
That's Giannis. And the next one on the list, the final one on the balance list this week, is Ul. And you can see straight away a big old list. I'm going to read through them again, and Pompon's going to clear them all
the
up.
cooldown between stances, like
RTO. That tracks cooldowns between stances, so similar to RTO, I guess?
Yep, and we're also, this is a decent UI undertaking to do, because a lot of these characters weren't really built to have this kind of functionality. RTO had that functionality added, especially because our UI team is working on Season 5. This is really nice to have.
Yeah.
And we'll look at other stance characters in the future and see if we want to fit this into their kit somewhere, but it's not going to be, we're not going to go back to back to back.
It's something forced.
It's something that we're going to look at for each individual case and address when we need to address it.
Okay, that's Weapon Master. Bladed Arrow, the Thrown Axe. The Bladed Arrow increased physical power scaling from 70 to 80%. And also the Thrown Axe decreased casting time from 0.4 seconds to 0.2 seconds to better match his current animations. But also increased the physical power scaling from that of 60 to 70% as well.
I think they're trying to bring Uller back in Conquest.
Weakness or Invigorate, the two, if you know that one at home. Decrease mana cost from 60 to 80.
Jeez, they're giving him so much.
And then Hail of Arrows, or Glory Bound, if you know it from that way, with the Leap and the Rain of Arrows. Hail of Arrows updated target FX to make it more clear where this ability can hit and when it is going to deal damage to an enemy. Glory Bound, we've also fixed an issue where Ul would slide when he landed at max range. We also fixed an issue where this ability would consume mana very late and decrease the mana cost from 70 to 90 is going to be 60 or rank 60 in the escape. That's pretty freaking good. And Wheeled Axes, the Wheeled Bow.
Damn, they're giving him so many buffs.
0.3 seconds to 0.2 seconds. A lot of quality of life stuff, I feel here.
Yeah, so Uller is a kind of character that we've had for a long time where there's a few things about his kit that felt clunky and often made players unable to execute his kind of high-level combos. He'd switch stances and he'd throw his axe and he'd do the throw, and then all of a sudden this axe would appear like 0.2 seconds later, so you didn't have feedback of when you actually threw it. So a lot of those like timing fixes or like kind of bug fixes to make it so that his ability kit flowed better were directly there to make it so that actually executing his difficult combos is a lot kind of more fluid to do.
Okay.
The other ones is he's also been super underperforming. He's a character that is very difficult, but is often, like, even when used by top-level players, doesn't see the same success as other hunters does. He actually has, like, the lowest play damage total of any hunter out there, even though he has a lot of, like, line abilities that can deal some damage. And so a lot of the changes there were targeted towards bringing up his damage a little bit, making it so that he can actually use his abilities often. The mana cost, especially for a stance switcher being that high, made it very difficult for him to use them reliably in lane. He'd often aim himself very quickly. It would force his build path very heavily in not necessarily a direction that you might want to go on the hunter. And so by opening that up for him, he has a lot more opportunity to do well, and he's also going to feel kind of more functional when he's doing all the things he does.
Awesome. Well, that's it for itemization. But what we're going to do now, Pardon, you need to go and get ready because we've got more skins to show off and the adventure too.
Yeah, we have. I'm going to be back there doing a lot of switching. We have a lot to show.
Really are. Well, the first thing up is going to be the adventure. We'll be back in a moment with the guys who made the adventure and to talk through exactly what this adventure is all about.
I'm excited for this new adventure. It's going to be like that other one. Gotta spam the shit out of it. Looks pretty cool. If that has anything to do with it.
And after that nice little musical intro, we are now back at the desk, joined by Travis, Clumsy, also known as Deshaun, and Matt as well, all three of them. What?
What? I just don't hear that often.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to be nice and give you a real name. You know,
Hi,
people know you more as Deshaun because you actually did something at high-res that's good, and not as Clumsy where you useless.
Oh, shit. Ouch. My heart. It hurts.
That's what you get. Like, just take another chin. Welcome, guys. You've done another adventure for us. This one, this animation in the background and the one you've seen on the screens too, like, it's something to do with this. I saw Tyr on a boat and Athena flying through the air. I didn't know who the other person was with the spear, but this is all to do with the adventure.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that was 3 people on a boat.
And, 3 people on a boat.
Is this a sailing adventure that we're doing? Is this what's going on?
You'll take a little boat trip.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
And you'll meet a new friend there
So
that you can see in the...
You make friends in this adventure.
Oh,
it's all about making friends.
Okay. Well, it's called, I mean, this patch is called Shadows over Heracropolis, and I've not seen anything to do with Hercules yet, which tells me this Heracropolis thing is to do with you guys. Is that right?
Yeah. Heracropolis is in trouble.
What is Heracropolis?
The King Hercules was the
It's
king
actually
of
his city.
Yeah, it was from the previous adventure.
You haven't heard
We're
of
going back to the original. We're going back to the
Yes.
adventure. We're going back.
Yeah.
But the problem is that Hercules is in trouble.
Why?
He's missing.
Where's he gone?
Everything in the city is missing. All the items have been stolen.
Yeah.
Everything is gone.
That's
Look,
funny.
The statue
The
is missing
statue
from the
in the
middle
middle
of the town.
Where has Hercules gone?
Where has Hercules gone? Look, there's a statue. So in the adventure,
Okay.
you'll be playing a dungeon like we did in Trials of King Hercules.
Okay.
Except for this time, it's not running his trials. It's trying to find what happened.
Oh,
to
you
him.
can
They're
earn
trying to find the
100
Brooks statue.
gems.
Yeah.
No, we're
So-
trying to find Hercules himself.
No.
Oh, okay.
So Hercules is missing. All of the items in the town, all your currencies, everything has
What
been
about-
stolen, including the statue from the middle of town. So during the adventure,
Son of a. Why
I-
would-
right?
Who would
Yeah,
do this?
who did that?
Right?
I
I
wonder
mean,
who.
It's a mystery. So in this adventure, you're going to go into trying
Oh,
to
we
track
get
down who
some of
who
those
done
uncommon,
this.
rare, and epic
Okay. Yeah,
items
so-
again.
So you're going to go into a dungeon just like you did in Trials of King Hercules, but it's a completely different environment. We ramped up all of the encounters.
Ooh,
all
I'm
new
excited. This
experiences,
is going to
but
be fun.
also, as you adventure in this new dungeon, you're
Uh-huh.
going to have an opportunity to find some of those pieces of the Hercules statue.
Gotcha. So you're looking for Hercules in the main quest, but then you've got a side
That's
quest of rebuild the statue, work
Mhm.
out who the frick did all this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
You'll never guess who it was.
I mean,
Who knows,
who
right?
could it
Loki?
possibly be out of all
yeah.
the people?
I mean, we could talk about like the bundle that you get.
Did he kidnap himself? Is that what Hercules did?
He just
So-
needed a vacation.
He's
He
like,
just
I'm
"Time
guessing
off, so
Loki's
break
gonna
the
be in
statue
this
and take it with me."
bundle.
And then
Yeah.
Ugh.
sell off
Like a
pieces.
trail.
Yeah, there's a thief loose. We'll say that.
Yeah, it's
Well,
going
I
to
guess
have
we
to
need
be
talk real
Loki.
quick about the actual bundle, like you guys were
Yes.
just mentioning there, and this will probably give it away.
Yeah.
It could also be the thing right
Could- it could
between
just be, you
Travis
know,
and Deshaun if you do this.
This guy.
It's Loki.
Yeah. So
Shocking.
in the bundle, it could be him, maybe.
Oh.
So in the bundle, you get a skin of Loki.
So
you
the
also
Loki
get
skin.
this amazing transition screen here.
Yeah.
You will get that as well in the bundle. You'll get an avatar.
Yes.
It's really cool looking. And then obviously the music theme and the gold.
The
key.
gold key.
Yeah, you're doing my job for me. I'm
And
supposed to read that.
What's the
And
new
like
gold
going-
key
yeah.
skin?
Yeah, and as we as you probably could have guessed throughout the whole series of adventures, if you own all the adventures, you get the 6th gold key. That'll be available here too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of people were asking about that on how to get, if there's going to be a way to get the 6th gold key. And if you have all the other ones, you will be
Yeah.
able to get the 6th gold key and finally finish off the vaults.
Complete the whole adventure. One note as well, in that adventure gold vault, it will be the Cursed King Kurnono skin, which you guys saw
I'm just
earlier
going to
in
have
the
to
pod. We'll
buy
get to that
this
later on.
adventure
Have a
just
look.
to get
Can
the
we
gold
go
key
into
for
game and look at this
Kurnonos.
Yes.
Yes.
I
Anyone
want
else to see
you
it?
to go to.
I'm
that.
ready.
Now, Matt,
ready?
I'm going to come to you when we get into game, because I heard stories that this is
Oh, this
huge.
looks good.
Yeah,
How
so,
big is this?
Oh, look at all those caulders.
well, Trials of Herc was really big, and
Sure.
we were afraid that we went too big with it. But then with this adventure, like, maybe we can go bigger. And so we went, like, I don't know, what do you guys think? Like, maybe a 2 times
I
bigger,
love all the
1/3
cauldar
bigger? I don't know.
dogs.
Probably
So,
2 times.
Yeah. So
It's
the-
really big, and I
it's-
can't really measure how big it is
Yeah.
because there's so much
Very
in it.
large.
Yeah.
A lot of potassium.
If you were measuring like metric, it'd be
Uh-huh.
like really big.
That's a
I'm
really
going
good
to
That's what
estimate.
we
play
use.
this
Yeah.
so
I
much
do like that
too.
Here at
metric
High
decision
Res.
there. That's
Yeah.
very,
Oh.
very smart indeed. So,
So basically,
but-
if you speed run I think on the normal mode before,
yeah,
it would take you what, like maybe 10 minutes?
About 15. I think.
About 15, and this one you're probably going to take about 20.
Nice.
25.
So it feels almost double the length, I guess.
It feels like it. I think that's mostly because we looked more into making more complex mechanics, adding more things that we learned from the previous adventure, and adding more things in. You know, like,
good job, Pon.
Yeah, I do want to mention here that whatever footage you see, obviously there are some things that are not fully finished and polished in here. For example, the HUD is missing on the top, and there are a few other things that will be polished up.
I mean, it's PTS after all that we showed.
Exactly.
Yeah, so you see here
next week.
Don't do it,
today.
You see here some slidey ice. Yeah. That's just a teaser. There's more to come of those types of things. We try to tease a little bit of each one of the mechanics throughout the dungeon.
Some ideas as you get deeper.
That you're going to see a little bit further in. Yeah.
So how many people can group up in this?
3 players.
Is it 3 players?
It's still going to be 3 players.
Again.
Is there still band gods in this? Is there more band gods, less band gods?
What is that?
Well, we
He's waving at him.
Extra gods due to you can see all these holes. You can fall in the holes. So we banned a few extra, but we also unbanned a couple of the other ones.
Oh, cool. Okay.
One of the mechanics.
Pon!
Oh my god.
What a
Is that it?
Are we going to restart this, or?
Is that all we're getting?
That's
all
probably all.
I think that's all we get.
Pon can. I mean,
they just said that's all we get.
He's going to have to
he got blown off the bridge. I mean,
how are you supposed to show off? Pon just ruined a segment yet again.
No, Pon.
I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah,
that's what we're going to see.
Well, that looks fun.
In this one, we actually opened it up to 3 different difficulties this time.
Oh.
So what we found in the 2 different difficulties is that when we had the easy mode and then the harder mode, that people would farm the easy mode and it would ruin kind of the player's experience in the easy mode.
Sure.
So we wanted to put a 3rd difficulty in there so that the players that have experience can do the medium, and then the hard mode, which we're calling Nightmare, doesn't unlock until the next patch. And it's going to be a nightmare.
It's going to be a nightmare.
It's going to actually be a nightmare. It's going to be really, really difficult. The way that you'll be able to beat that is you're going to have to make sure that you've gotten all the items and make sure you have enough gold to spend on the church buffs to be able to beat that. It's going to be really difficult.
Okay.
Yeah.
This sounds great.
It's exciting.
I mean, everyone really loved the adventure the first time round and doing it.
Yeah, I remember the first time I did the hard mode on Adventures of Hercules. It was way hard.
Yeah.
A lot more.
Then, of course, you got used to it.
I think the new environments are just completely different, and just the team put a lot of work. Actually, all the teams really just blasted it out with this adventure. It's going to really blow people away.
And Matt, for you, what's your favorite thing about this?
Well, I really liked that we played with a lot of cool things in the last adventure, like the dark light in the cave and the tall grass hiding all the monsters. So we totally doubled that. Yeah. And we just went ham on all the cool stuff.
Because we don't want to give too much away.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, like the ice on the floor is just.
That's just step 1.
It's not really much. We did
can't
way
wait
more
to watch
than
like PTS and people playing it.
Yeah. There's a lot more mechanics to the bosses. Even like the encounters that we had, like at the forest encounter, was just a wave-based thing. Now we've amped that up a little bit, where you're actually trying to perform a couple of different tasks while you're trying to clear potential waves and things like that. Yeah, it's pretty neat. We haven't had anyone beat it, I don't think, except for...
Oh, don't say that. Day 1,
I don't know.
Did we beat it?
Yeah.
The latest iteration? I mean, we probably had to put God mode on or something, you know?
The person that you know, shouldn't be named, that might be in the bundle, has pretty much destroyed us, so...
Oh.
I hope it works when... It goes live.
Well, it'll be fun to see this on stream.
We haven't beaten it yet, so.
Well, we'll find out who will be the first record setters of this. Is it going to be available on PTS to test at all, or is it not going to be in the PTS?
If things don't go wrong, it'll be in PTS today, I think.
Cool.
That's the goal, I believe.
Yeah.
Never
don't put out dates, Travis.
Going out, Travis.
What I mean by today
Never do that.
is
sometime
soon. That I mean, it's more, you know, spiritually.
Work in progress. Yes.
Yeah.
In the close
future. That will, Today is all time, you know.
What
time,
is
space, and really.
What is space? What is time?
Anyway, the patch note. So in the patch notes, once we get done with the show, we're going to make this animated GIF available to you guys. You guys can download that.
That's cool.
And desktop it or whatever you want to do. I'm gonna, I don't know. Put it up in my house and window and
take off all the frames of your pictures.
I don't really know.
Just move on.
Guys, it looks
Matt,
great.
He's eating your head.
I'm very excited for it. I'm pretty sure people at home will be excited for it, especially for the last one to go. But I'm going to head over to the community now. I'll see you guys in the future. I'm sure everyone will be tweeting at you and giving you all the recognition about how good this adventure ends up as the last adventure of the year as well.
That's right. Yeah.
We'll see
I just want to see Discordia.
Now, we're going to head over to the community team standing by, as per usual. Community guys, Isaiah and Brett, also known as the Cannon or Stealth. How you doing?
Doing pretty good. How about you, Andy, man?
I'm great. Could be any better. Look at you, Stealth, looking all high-resi these days.
Know, right?
I got my poolside and shirt on. I think it looks cool.
And Isaiah ready for World Championships already?
Oh, yeah. I'm ready. Let's go.
Speaking of things, I see it's presented by Xbox One there. Well, talk to me a little bit about Xbox and PS4 right now. I know Xbox, first of all, the patch status. What's the situation there?
Yeah,
yes,
for Xbox,
we need
we're
the freaking
currently
patch.
on an extended certification pass period in order to support 4K support on Xbox One X. So we're working really closely with our partners at Microsoft to get this, certification pass done.
Okay.
Right now, our estimated date is next Tuesday, but this could change.
No
Earlier,
way. Next
we'll be sure to keep you all
Tuesday?
updated. Make sure to check us out on social media.
You have to
Awesome.
be kidding.
Keep track of these two guys. They will keep you informed. PS4 as well, Isaiah. Just come see you for that. I know we've had a couple of issues with that just lately.
Yeah, so PS4 actually got patch 420 today, but bug was introduced.
We don't even
and
have
it
the
actually
Xbox One
was
X. We
preventing
don't
people
need
from
the
logging
stupid
in.
4K
The team is actually working
support.
really hard right now and should be restarting
my
PS4
God.
SMITE right about now to fix the issue. However, this issue will disable clans temporarily. We'll be working on a long-term fix to get clans re-enabled shortly.
This is why I hate
it
being
Brett's
on
fault?
console
Yes.
sometimes.
Brett has good ones, but that wasn't.
Never get the
messed up. I
patches in
destroyed everything.
time.
Bad one, Brett.
Yeah, but we all know that bugs, delays, they're a bummer. So this weekend on console only, we'll be running a 3 times everything event. So if you're playing on console,
3 times everything?
3 times
that
everything.
doesn't really
Worshippers,
make up
favorite,
for it.
and XP.
Well, we made
Console
up for it.
only.
We
Whatever.
made up for it. Console only. Boo. Oh well. But Brett as well. Super regional sales. I mean, what are we getting any?
Super Regionals here. We have a lot of sales for them. First, all season ticket passes are 25% off, as well as select eSports bundles.
That's right.
Ooh. Okay.
Man, look at those skins. They've been killing it with the season
Those are
ticket skins.
beautiful, beautiful skins. On top of that, the biggest thing,
What's the biggest thing?
all SMITE World Championship skins, all 3 of them that we've had so far, are now available for purchase.
So which ones are they? Chrono.
Cogzilla, that's a good skin. That's
Did
one of my
you-
favorites.
Oh, that
Who
one
did-
hasn't been
when did that
available in a
Cogzilla
long
come?
time.
You know, I'm not sure who had the idea behind that one.
I need to buy
Yeah.
that Chronos,
It's,
though.
I don't know. It's on the tip of my tongue. I can't figure it out.
Is he one of those ones that just left the scene as always? Like the has-beens now? Is that what
I
happened?
think it might be a
Yeah.
has-been.
Good one, Hindu man.
So there's Cogzilla, there's Epsilon Sol, and there's NRG Chronos. All 3 of those are available for purchase now,
Yeah.
and they're also 25% off.
That's amazing.
I know a lot of people have been wanting these skins. I get messages like every day asking how people can get these skins.
So is that why they're on sale now? Is because they've messaged you?
They've messaged me too many times. I've had it. I took it to
hey, man.
high-res
chill
too, and I
out.
said, make these skins available.
Okay.
Good one, Brett.
I did it.
Good job.
All me.
And now Isaiah, finally as well, we've got the digital loot pack. Obviously, High-Res
That's
Expo's coming
right.
in.
Yeah,
always
we
do
are
a loot
at
pack.
Super Regionals, the last stop on the way to HRX, and HRX tickets, they are selling out. They are selling so quickly. So make sure to hit up
Wish I could
highresexpo.com.
go.
Get your tickets while you can. With every ticket purchase, you'll be able to get a 2018 digital loot pack.
And the digital loot pack, you already know about
Oh,
that.
yeah.
That SPL 25 there, that is the biggest discount I've seen so far, guys, and we are running out of tickets, so get in quick, because it's not just SMITE, it's
It's
also
kinda cool
Paladins,
if you
it's Warrior,
buy,
Hand of the Gods
A
too.
ticket that you
Plenty
get
of
that
Howls
loot
game,
pack.
maybe even
I heard we're
Twitch
starting
ones.
out the ceremony with a huge keynote, so that's going to be really awesome.
Oh, that could be exciting too. Gentlemen, it's been a pleasure talking to you both.
Thank you
As
so much,
always,
Hindu.
Brett, thank you so much for getting us all those skins on sale.
Oh, you're just so welcome, Hindu man. Thanks for having me.
No, anytime, anytime. That's the community boys. You can get catch with them on Twitter and social media. You'll see them around as always. But now it's time to come back towards 2 of my favorite designers
Oh, yeah.
in the whole world. It's Fishman and AJ joining me for the final segment of the day.
Do you like my new patch now
Do
shirt?
we not get to see the
Yeah,
skins?
No, it's a brand new
it's a
shirt.
totally
It's
new
totally
shirt.
different. It's a hoodie. Look, see?
Oh, it was a t-shirt, now it's a hoodie.
Yeah, I can't really fit it over these headsets, though. It's kind of hard, but it works.
Okay, and Fish, you're wearing the Al Kwong shirt from, I've seen that one before. Too, that works out okay. How have you two been?
It's been all right.
Busy.
I heard you were busy because there's
Busy.
a new god coming out momentarily, but it's time to go into skins. First.
Thank
Oh, yeah,
you. I
let's
want to
get-
see these
Oh,
skins.
there's no
Get
Chuck,
into
by
those.
the way. If you've noticed, there's no Chuck here today. I think he's still recovering from the Halloween party.
Rest in peace, Chuck. He
What was
partied.
that?
He partied
Hell of a
hard,
party.
and he went out again for Halloween.
Did he?
Oh yeah, he always parties hard. That doesn't
favorite time of
normally prevent him, but you know,
This time it did.
we're gonna put the best artistic influences that we can, me and Fish,
I'm looking forward
as
to
we
this.
go into it.
I'm going to ask for
We're gonna
artistic
try our
details.
best.
We're ready? Let's get into the skins. I'm going to start things off with Cursed King Kernanos.
Oh yeah.
This one will be in the Gold Vault. Make sure
excited
you wear
to
that.
see
That's
this
part of the
one.
adventure. It's going to be in the Gold
He
Vault.
has a cape.
Vault. I I want him to be a gentleman because I feel like he's very gentlemanly, but I don't know. I mean, he looks really jacket.
Yeah, I wonder if he's gonna.
I want one.
He's gonna kind of do
nice.
it the gentleman skins.
Royal feel to it.
I love the fact that we got onto this in the first.
I do like his jacket.
You guys were saying about we're gonna try and give some artistic detail. I love the jacket. The jacket, purple, fashion, fashion. Let's go with that.
Look at how high those shoulders are, man.
He also has some additional, gold trim. You can see there's actually a wristwatch built into his weapon glaive gauntlet there, and a little bit of maybe some steampunky kind of elements with the clockwork in that. And
oh, his jacket changes.
The jacket of the seasons.
He is the most regal of regal.
Oh, that's cool.
The ability to change it.
I do like his purple jacket though.
I didn't know that was gonna happen though. Like that's cheating. That's not fair.
And this was definitely one of when the concept team and Chuck were first coming up with skin for Kernanos, they were like, this is going to be, with the color changing, is going to be awesome. This was one of the things that got us to do this skin.
That's pretty cool.
Already, and now we're going to see the second ability, Bramble Blast.
Oh, well. That's cool.
It's like a rose garden.
It's a little garden.
Well.
Yeah, and a garden and a little fence.
It's like a fairy tale.
Some kind of, yeah.
A fairy tale prince is what he seems to be. Not king. Even though he is a king.
He's got some different coloring on his
I wonder what the
there.
pigs are going to look like.
Are there little gold details on them? On the spikes?
It seems like.
That looks nice. Let's see them. The piggies wearing... Oh,
top hats.
They're wearing top hats.
Top hat piggies.
Oh, I was going to say, I couldn't see anything different, but they have a top hat.
That's what happens sometimes. The piggies they get a little bit posh as well. It does come with a voice pack, and so we'll try and take a listen in right about now. Might need to turn that up, boys at home. Production, get that louder, please.
Great effort.
There we go.
Outstanding. I am amazing. Did you just call me hideous? You have no business here, stranger. Stick to yourself, and I will do the same. Do not worry. I will be here, eating my feelings because I am cursed. I still think myself beautiful. Even with all the hair. That must be why I'm still cursed. Woohoo! Woohoo!
Woohoo!
Outstanding!
What's the
I like
I'm the
it.
greatest?
I am amazing.
I am amazing.
That is true.
He's very proper and to the point.
Very, very on
Seems a little bit of a temper, and it doesn't seem like he's always been like this. Like he's got some kind of backstory.
And Kern's getting another skin in the Odyssey
Agent
too.
of Darkness Loki. Now we saw this skin earlier on. He looks very much like an Agent of Darkness.
Yes, this is
pretty
a more
cool assassin
traditional
skin.
fantasy take on Loki. As the character with the daggers, you play other video games, all sorts of ones from different genres from years and years, and you get this kind of,
Well, his
rogue
eyes look creepy.
archetype. And as Loki, as our premier rogue character with his stealthing
Oh,
ability.
people are gonna
and his
freak out about this
backstabbing,
skin.
This is now,
Those
coming around full
20-star
circle.
Lokis.
Because we see skulls.
Got the skull, like a macabre musketeer cloak back
And
there.
'cause it's
I wonder
just
how
badass.
quiet his
If you weren't
abilities
sure
will
if you could
be.
trust him, though, he's got that mask over his face. You definitely should not.
Now, to remind you about where you can get hold of this skin, just so you know, to confirm it, this is part of the limited Agent of Darkness Loki Trickster bundle, part of the adventure. Just so you guys know, so you will be able to get this by getting the bundle for the adventure.
This is the one you buy the bundle with the new adventure. The Kernanos is in the vault with your keys. So you can choose. or you
Yeah,
can
it's
choose
pretty
any
quiet.
ones. That's a nice little effect.
Yeah, it looks like it's the emblem from his cloak.
It literally is,
Yeah.
from the looks of that. Obviously, you can get
Look away.
What did he say?
Look away.
For someone?
Looking for someone.
Looking for someone.
Don't look away.
Don't look away. That's it.
Ready to strike.
This is the decoy. He wants you to check out the decoy.
Ready to strike.
It's pretty cool
We've
looking.
also got the ultimate as well.
Poof. Oh. Careful, Palm, with those cooldown cheats.
Into the shadows.
There you
out
go.
of the shadows. May darkness embrace me. Never see it coming.
Nice in-hand cancels, Pawn.
Good work,
All
man.
right. Thanks.
Practicing Loki when all the other assassins get buffed. That's what's been going on with him at the same time.
He's the assassin master,
I believe it does come with a voice pack too.
Sure.
Let's have a listen in.
Definitely.
All right. You are quite exceptional.
I am.
Extraordinary. No one else can hope to be as great as me. I'll steal your life like I stole my fortune. Tread lightly. I want a challenge. Once upon a time, there was a princess with a beautiful golden necklace. Then, I stole it. Happily ever after.
Then I stole it.
Whoever wrote, "You never give me your money," clearly didn't know the first rule of stealing. Don't ask.
Kind of the cocky loner anti-hero there.
A villain, for sure.
He is a villain, but he's not like wild, crazy, over-the-top evil. He's just like kind of selfish and
like snarky rogue, like almost a Han Solo, right?
He's like,
yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
Han Solo's a good example, or like a Robin Hood that doesn't care about poor people.
Steals from the rich.
I want to see that dollar rock.
Steals from the rich and keeps it. Pretty much
end of story. Why would I give it away? I spent all this time stealing it.
The next one, by the way, this is my favorite looking.
Keep them coming.
I'm way too excited because obviously I'm a main support player. Primal Shaman.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be good.
Oh yeah.
This looks badass.
Looks so good.
Face paint, I guess.
Yep.
Wall paint. Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
It's like
some more skull paint, you know.
And it's basically a mammoth. It
yeah,
feels
he
like
looks
good.
Very much so. And that was when we were first kind of pitching ideas.
I love
for
the mammoth.
Mammoth, or like, you know,
prehistoric
thing
they're going
right
with.
Away. And
He's
a lot
all
with his
furry.
animations and his poses and kind of his magic, this kind of shaman mixed itself in better to the woolly mammoth. Because if he was just a woolly mammoth, like, you know, they don't have any cool armor or anything like that, so we kind of merged that with the shaman idea, and I think it turned out really well.
There's a really big piece of leopard print on his back to cover his booty, that's for sure. Just to cover that one up.
It's a whole saber-toothed tiger hide.
Is that an effigy in one of his hands as well? That was really cool. I really like all the stuff in this game.
I was just noticing all the bones and tusks hanging off of him.
I wonder what his ultimate looks like.
Mammoths, and he's the one that's left, but it's definitely intense.
It's the pieces of the fallen. That's what it is. To carry with him as trophies of, like, not trophies, but reminders of the past.
And maybe they're enemy mammoth tribes that he's conquered.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's cool.
The tusks at the edge as well, just like gliding down the lane.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Bit of a sound of the voice painting. Now the silence. The ohm.
Oh.
Less ohm this time, and more just
darker and
there's more of a deep
malevolent.
Looks cool.
And then the dash, as always.
Elephant noises.
So it's got his face.
I love that, like,
feather headdress out in front.
fire
that
in front of
really
it.
cool from the front. Very nice. Let's see the.
Oh, that looks cool. The fire.
If it's not skulls,
The skull pillars.
Yeah, they do. They got the long spine and the big fangs.
And they're pointed down.
Nice looking
This is
skin.
a
Let's
good one.
listen to the voice pack for this one too.
It's too good to get rid of.
You have a brave spirit. Excellent. My clan is my strength. Who will be my next offering? Your bones will make an excellent totem. Why did the woolly mammoth become extinct? Because they became ear elephant. It's so hard to be noticed in my tribe that you have to start stampedes just to be heard.
He's still got that feel of Ganesh in that voice pack, but at the same time, it's a little bit more deep and dreary.
There was the one line, like everything it was kind of like, you know, like chill, medicine man. And there's that one line, like, with your bones. It's like, oh no, Grandpa's angry at me. What did I do?
Yeah, he's wise and smart, but he's still got a little bit of a dark side. He's not full on regular Ganesh who's just super peaceful. He's gonna use his magic to whatever he needs to do.
Well, the next
gotta do what you gotta do.
On the next skin, I've also got written down here a dance emote with it too. So hopefully Pompon has that. We'll find out because you know what Pon's like. But it's Exterminator Carly.
Carly dance?
Superhero-esque vibe to this one.
Yeah.
From what I can tell in this skin's cut up.
Definitely.
Her gold arms look
like
pretty cool.
Swords. That looks really cool.
She needs at least.
She looks pretty
like
good.
Mecha arms to play in with her forearms, but put a new twist on that, which is pretty
The
cool.
boobs, though.
I also want to know what the lantern's for sometimes. I'm like, is that just in case it gets dark somewhere?
You know,
just so you can, see what's going on.
Have you ever been in a gladiatorial arena?
I have.
They're not very well lit. You'd be surprised if battles go late. You just got to keep your.
She's got to use it for her ability 3, which is the pulse that stuns people. So it's her like a kind of like a EMP, but in this skin, right? It's more like probably.
You're giving it away?
I'm just guessing.
Are you giving it away?
I honestly haven't seen it, but I know she's got a little bit of a techie feel to her too, right? So that seems like a logical way to go.
Is he spawning? Okay.
Yeah, pretty much just
He's
looks
gonna
like the
kill
Freya
it,
one.
Maybe, so we can see the. Oh, we can see the mark.
There's the mark.
Get right. Nice kill, Pawn. See, there you go. There's the techiness.
Yeah. I think you're right with the EMP. I think we're going to see the EMP now. You've just predicted it already.
Ooh, those are cool.
Blades look
yellow
cool.
And shiny.
I like the
See, this is why we have
trails
Chuck
those
on
in
here, so I just go yellow and shiny.
I mean, sometimes that's his explanation as well. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it definitely.
Her ults will probably look really cool, yeah. I don't play Kali that much, but it's cool.
Yeah,
oh yeah, spinning around the outside. I like that. Yeah. I like the color scheme too. I feel like I have not seen that too much in Smite.
Yeah. Now, before we go on the voice back Pompon, do you actually have the dance emote?
No.
Of course.
You're the worst.
No dance.
Pompon, there's two things today, Pon. We're gonna fight, you know.
Secrets for PTS.
Okay, so someone on PTS will probably give that away when the PTS is out. I mean, Travis was saying it's today, but I'm like, ooh, don't say that. Just in case.
Yeah, he must be feeling good about the adventure then.
Well, let's have a listen to the voice pack for this Kali skin. You can hear all about the dance emote, or see the dance emote on the PTS.
Woohoo! Woohoo! Your techniques are flawless. Fantastic. I am who the people need. All you need to do is cooperate. You can either surrender or get beaten.
Yeah,
Great
so
power
Ganesh and
comes
Kali
with
are the
great
Odyssey skins of this patch.
My X-ray vision indicates that you have a very small brain.
Psych.
I was like, Tina?
What were you thinking?
Is this a Tina pack again? No.
Hindu man looked worried there for a second. He's like, oh, brain, okay, that is me. Okay,
it was
cool.
actually me looking at AJ of like, I hope you vetted what comes next.
I liked the arms joke. That was a good one.
Yeah, the arms one definitely was. That sticks in my Kali. It was just definitely a superhero skin.
Yeah, no nonsense protector. You know, watch out.
Yeah, well, next up is Vanquisher Nemesis. Is the next one.
Oh yeah,
this one looks good too.
That sword is money on that.
Very cool.
It reminds me a little bit of like the King Artir style.
It's
a little
bit more of just kind of looking at actually like historical Crusader,
yes,
but
Crusader
with
style.
more of a fantasy.
Yeah, she looks like a Knight's Guard kind of thing.
The colors of those kind of holy knights of long ago.
Templars kind of thing.
Yeah, Templar is a good word for it.
Crusaders.
It's like the broken wings on the back as well.
But of course, we took it up a notch because it looks way cooler this way, and that's what we do here.
Every bit as good in game as it did on the card.
Yeah, this is a really good skin.
And the hood is very distinguished as well.
I actually think Pompon's got auto level on because every time we get into game with him, he's already got one ability with a point in it, and so he's auto leveling.
You know the secret
Turn off.
Busted.
He's just gonna instant level to 20 anyway, though. I don't know why it matters.
So see, if you do play with auto level on, Pompon plays the same way. It's no real issue there.
That's how you get good.
Oh yeah, because this is his normal account.
I mean, it pretty much is. There's the dashes and then the slice.
You can see the updated sword and the targeter.
Oh yeah, nice. A lot of golden effects here, white golds.
Doing their diligence on all the little things.
Okay, now you need to get someone to attack you now, Pom.
Ooh, that's cool.
Can we see it again?
He's gonna get him to attack him. He's immune
is
or
that a
something.
cross?
Because he's immune to damage, that's why.
He's getting hit.
Now he is.
He's getting zapped. You can see the little lightning bolt there.
And then the ultimate, of course.
Very nice.
Cool
Looks really,
looking.
really good right now.
Alright, don't you wish you could do that?
No. No.
Now the bot's gonna be swinging all day.
That's fine. That'll be useful maybe later on.
Odin's
this
look like
has an emote. Pompon, have you got the emote?
Samurai Warriors just practice.
Is it not ready yet?
Secrets for PTS.
Is it just not ready, or is it actually your fault?
Okay, so no, this is not. This one is going to have a special emote, VXG, that's unique just to the skin. That comes with the skin, I believe. It might not be ready yet.
Oh, cool.
Oh, I guess it is.
Oh,
partially ready. Okay, move. Dang it, Pon. Yes, okay, it does work. So you can god raise yourself and with your holy sword run around the map.
That's amazing. It's like Excalibur's sword.
Cool.
You know, like Excalibur's sword gets one like, oh.
Is that you, Lord?
If you're looking to be stealthy, I would not recommend it.
No.
There's a big pillar of light on you, but if you want to just kind of show
know
off
where you
and
are.
have some fun, like you can with the kind of the Medusa harp and the Kumbha guitar.
Do you know what we need to do? We need to do an emote like that, but with like a Jaws theme as well, right? You know, just the Jaws theme tune.
Yeah.
And then just have that run around the map with that.
Next beast skin we get or something creepy. We'll look into that one.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That'd be
Let's
funny.
listen to the voice pack then with this Nemesis skin as well.
Woohoo! You fight honorably, righteous, My duty is to the gods. There is no saving you now. Surrender now. I will not be so merciful next time. Medusa was so close to being knighted as Serpent. It looks as if the knights are planning to call surrender.
Oh, God. Classic. You got to put one of those jokes in every Knight skin. You got to have a Sir joke.
Well, there's two in that. There was a Serpent as well.
I'm pretty sure I put like circumference or something in the tier
Sirloin
skin.
of beef.
Maybe sirloin, yeah.
Cirrhosis
I definitely
of
wrote.
liver.
It was the first voice pack I ever wrote, actually, I think, was like King Arthur tier.
Well, let's
King
look at the
tier.
Nemesis one. The next one again, like this is another one that I saw and I was like, ooh, this looks
still going?
There's a couple more.
So many
later.
skins.
This
These
one
are crazy.
This one didn't surprise me as much as the Cucullin one, but the Arachne one is where we're going to go
Oh,
to next.
yeah. Oh, yeah, we can still have that one, too.
Oh, my goodness.
That card art is so good. I love the texture on the legs, like they're stitched together,
The
and
baby
the Izanami
spiders.
hiding in the back. Everything about this is so good.
The art meeting where we came up with the baby spiders to go with this
Oh,
skin,
she looks
the
so
baby head spiders,
creepy.
was a beautiful moment. Like, the entire room was just like, oh, yes, it's going to be so crazy.
So she's basically the feel for this is like an evil, demented.
Oh, the
dog.
spider web
Yeah,
looks cool.
Is basically what it comes across
We
as,
did that with Izanami.
Yeah.
It was a similar kind of style. Izanami is a little more porcelain and wood, whereas we have a little bit more stuffing and stitching and cloth here. But that was really popular skin. It was really well received. So we're trying it out on Arachne. She's got a little bit of creepy crawliness to her already. So
Why
creeped
does
her up
that
a little bit more in a
web
different
look
way.
so huge?
You can see the new creepy baby head spiders crawling around on this wall.
Just hanging around.
I know that we have some high-res employees who cannot handle spiders. I'm sure they're.
Yeah, maybe just pan around. There it is.
Oh,
There he is.
They look crazy. They look so good.
I can hear groans from the other room.
Run down by this. Once again, Pom-Pom still has auto level on. You just noticed that.
Winners always do.
Yeah, that's maybe why you're not performing, Hindu. You need to use
Turn on the auto
Oh,
level.
that like
Yeah,
web
that.
track looks creepy too.
The web on the floor looks a little bit different as well.
Yeah, there's thicker yarn strands on the web.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See that? Now let's go for the rest of the abilities.
My babies are coming for you.
Her voice back's gonna be so creepy.
I like the voice back already.
Yeah. Very sinister.
Oh, what the heck?
What?
That is
a unique effect. I think it's a looks like an old wood and wallpapered.
Yeah, it feels like they're running
Yeah,
through a
it's
building.
inside of like an old building. Oh, that's
There's some decay under it. It's very
The sound's really like.
And she like
horror.
Yeah, they
blasts
sound like
too.
horror movies. And there's almost like some spikes that come out there, like looked like bloody.
It should have came out like
Talking
on
about,
the
like,
Halloween
Ghost,
patch.
they
It's
could've done
pretty
that on
good.
this skin on the roof. I'm like, dun. This one wouldn't play the same for this one, but it's good.
You know, you're mixing jokey with serious
Okay.
tones here, Hindu.
Now
man.
this comes
Be an artist.
with an emote as well, Pom-Pom.
And you do have this one because it's another one of the specials.
Oh, see.
You get the creepy music.
audio, yeah.
See, that's fine. I would do that for the joke because you're like, oh god, Arachne's somewhere. Where is she?
Her
Falling
babies
apart
That's
music
pretty
box sound.
and her baby spiders show up and ride on her back while this is going.
They do?
Yeah, you got to zoom in maybe a little, Pon.
That's so cool.
So good.
And
she
they got
just
the weird,
squirted
like
blood
twitchy
everywhere, too.
horror, uncanny valley movements to them.
And she
Like,
kind of turns and twists herself too.
That's cool.
All right,
That's really cool.
voice back it up. He always woohoo spams.
You are fascinating. Magnifique! I make their spines chill. Will you be my toy friend?
Toy friend.
Those are the sounds of a good scream.
I like how she turns to the camera for that too, to ask.
You are looking for your daddy? Well, daddy is now daddy. Violets
dark.
are blue, your blood is red. Your window was open and now I'm under your bed.
Ooh, creepy.
What the heck?
Is that her laugh? Oh my god. She's
Oh,
a creepy
wow.
humming music laugh. We really amped up the creepiness on this one. Well done, Tina.
That Arachne skin looks fantastic. We're still not done. We've still got another 2 skins to show you at least.
2 more skins.
We mentioned it a minute ago. We're going to go to it very soon. Wasteland Cucullin.
Oh, yeah.
This looks
Oh
cool.
yeah,
Here's
this
the
one
next
does
mob,
look
and
pretty
yeah,
cool.
He looks awesome. It gives you that feel of like Survivor of like the dystopian future.
Dystopian future.
That's just. I mean, he could be fighting dinosaurs in the future. You never know.
Sure, like
people have mixed those genres.
Give him
before.
even odds against a Velociraptor.
Yeah, he's got that real feel. What else is it? Kumbhakana skin is what reminds me of this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so post-apocalyptic.
Yeah, that and the Kumbo one would be matching.
That's the word you're looking for.
Dystopian is fine.
It's
Dystopian
close.
future
I
works.
went for dystopian, and I went dynotopian. I'm like, oh, never mind, that'll do.
So we're going to see, as we would expect, some red, fiery effects.
Yes. Let's rage out.
And that debuff, which reads well as anti-heals. Oh, we're raging out
What
already.
the heck? He's like...
First of all, I guess that's what we're
Oh, he's slow-moing, okay, yeah.
Get a nice little look at him and rage out for
Look at his eye.
the eye looks so
eye patch.
The creepy eye, the big claws, the bulging maw. Oh! I was not ready for that time. I could not contain myself.
Combat boots. He's not a happy guy.
all the time.
I really like the effects. Has a lot of colors in there. There's even some black.
He's
kind
like,
of things
yeah.
that mix in with the rest to really help the contrast
That's
of the
good.
golden oranges. It's very nice.
Definitely a crazy sort of version of the apocalyptic person, which
I like the
makes sense.
the gear symbol on the target for the right there.
Yep.
Boom. And then it does come with a voice back to no emote, guys, so you don't have to worry about Pompon missing out on something again.
Right.
It'd be kind of cool if he had like a guitar emote too. Oh no.
I love non-traditional woohoos. That's amazing.
That's almost like post-apocalyptic Little John.
Yeah.
You are wild! That was insane!
He's definitely got a bit of insanity.
I am radiating!
Oh my god.
I am radiating! The
Well
only
done.
thing left living will be cockroaches!
He's
This
crazy.
wasteland will be your end! I make apocalyptic jokes like there is no tomorrow! Well, I can tell
Clever
you
one.
for a fact that being around toxic waste does not give you superpowers!
I love the kind of
his
craziness
taunt
you know,
or
like,
his
you know, when
laughs,
you're living
buddy.
in this
He like points at
wasteland
him.
and There's no food
Go a
or
bit
air
mental.
conditioning. Yeah, you're gonna go a little crazy.
You can go a little crazy because
He's
there's
a little bit.
more
He's a
issues.
little bit
I just
crazy.
want to hear is okay, just in case.
Well, there's one
Okay.
more pack to show you, or one more skin to show you, I should say, which is the Collie Mastery update. So obviously we did Collie, so should have a little look at the updates for her. It's been a while since we've seen one of these. When was the last one we did?
We did one not that long ago.
It was the patch before, wasn't it?
Hebo
No, it looks
one
good.
along with it.
Yeah.
Chuck has been still trying to keep these going as much as he can. They're much more efficient for the team to work on when they're working on other skins.
Sure.
So it saves the artists a lot of
Collie with
time there
Collie.
because they're already working on Collie. Yeah. So we got a Collie one in this time. So doing our best to keep these moving. But they do take a good bit of time.
There's a legendary version as well. It's always my favorite version is always the legendary. I always say that. I don't know why.
I know.
But it's
Yeah.
because it's true.
No,
Black
I
and
feel
gold
you.
is solid.
I like the black and gold too.
And then the diamond. Show me the diamonds. They are forever.
I don't know, the diamond's pretty cool in
Yeah,
this one as
diamond's
well.
fun.
Diamond
looks
is
nice.
pretty cool.
I like the crown. on
Looks
that.
My
cool
favorite
with her
varies
like
from
skin
God to
tone.
God, but
That's true. That's fair. It always happens.
Yeah, certain gods play better with the blues.
Definitely feels that way. So that's the Collie ones, and that's all the skins.
All
We've got
right,
time
that was
for-
quite a bit of
See.
skins.
It
was
was.
a
Those
lot
are
of
really great
new
ones.
skins.
stuff. We had an adventure, we did skins, we did balance. Are we done? We good to go?
No.
Oh, right, there's that one other.
I mean,
That's
chat would
why.
really, chat would have really gone out there. We got to go through with a
Give
new
me
god. for you
Discordia.
finally. Obviously,
That's right.
gods come out when they come out, and this patch is going to be one of those times.
This is.
Yeah, a goddess.
It is time.
A goddess is one.
Discordia is going to be here, and there's.
Oh, her
there's
card
where you
art's
may have
so
seen her in the last
good.
patch, but there's a bit
Her
more of
face.
card art.
Yeah, we took a quick sneak peek at just the 3D model. Now here you can see her in her card art and all these minions
Love
bashing
her
each other to
wings.
bits.
She's
Got
got
a
a
bit of a smirk to
golden
her.
apple. Now, before we go through the stuff, obviously they're going to take us into game in a minute. AJ, talk to me a little bit about Discordia. Who is she? What is she about?
Well, Discordia.
Why does she
is
carry an
the-
apple?
So, or the goddess of discord. It's a little redundant. So another word you could use is strife.
Right.
Discordia, goddess of strife. And really what she does is she goes around turning people against each other. She really just enjoys violence, and she enjoys people fighting, and there constantly be a struggle. She doesn't want things to ever stay, solidified.
So she's like me. That's great. Okay.
Yeah, she would be slamming people on Twitter nonstop.
That sounds right.
If she was living today. And she has
she
great
like
bit of
flies.
fun while she does
That's
these
awesome.
things. So in her lore, there's one especially notable story where the gods were having a wedding with some very high-profile mortals. Discordia
She
was
literally
not
just
invited
flies
because of her,
everywhere.
unruly
How
nature.
cute
She's
is that?
generally kind of difficult to be around. She wasn't invited. She was not happy about that.
Sounds like me.
So she shows up to the party anyway, and she takes a golden apple and carves onto it to the fairest, or to the most beautiful, and throws it into the party, and lets the gods start fighting over it. So of course, they see this prize, and Athena, Aphrodite, and Hera are all like, oh, that's obviously for me. And hold up now. Hold up now. It might not. We don't know which one it's for. So Zeus designates a mortal, Paris, to be the decider.
Like Zeus, you just say, he's like, nope, nope, nope.
Yeah, Zeus is like, I'm going to stay out of this.
He's a human.
Good point. Yeah, let's get this human. And we'll see how poorly this goes for poor human. But he's like, okay, this guy will be the decider. So the goddesses try to persuade him through different ways. Hera was like, give you power over nations, and Athena was like, I'll make you the smartest, most wise, general ever. And Aphrodite goes, I'm going to give you the most beautiful woman in the world as your wife. And he takes that option.
Okay, that sounds pretty good.
And that was not the right option, because that was actually Helen of Troy that was now already married and started the Trojan War. So Discordia did not get invited to a party, and the results were war that completely annihilated an entire civilization. Yeah.
Okay.
And she thought that was hilarious.
Well, we got a little look at that in game then. I guess we should start going through the abilities. First of all, I guess mage.
Mage.
Looks like a mage. I love the floating animation, by the way.
So
with the movement. That looks great.
Discordia, Roman, mage,
that's
goddess
so
of
good.
strife. Those are her key bullet points.
Why has she got a picture of herself as her passive area?
So this is her passive. So when we were brainstorming this god, we just had so much fun with coming up with ideas for turning people against each other.
Right.
And we wanted there to be competition and struggle and strife. And we're going to have some amongst your enemies, but also amongst your allies.
No, she's going to affect... Okay.
So her passive is called Contest of the Gods.
Right.
And whoever on Discordia's team has current top damage, so you could use your T-screen there to tell.
Yeah.
Or you can see Discordia's passive meter.
Yes.
Is going to get a passive power buff.
From Discordia.
That scales per level from Discordia.
Oh.
So if you are on Discordia's team, and whoever one god at a time can have only one god at a time can have the power buff.
Okay.
So if your assassin's doing really well, they might have the Discordia buff. You can see those extra purple swirls floating around her. Those will move to the other god and
that's
leave
cool.
Discordia.
Gotcha. So you will see these passive purple
On you.
around your character if Discordia's on your
But then
team.
it gets to be late game, and your hunter starts to catch up, fully itemized, start dealing damage. You'll see that buff move back to them, and they'll get an extra boost. And if there's a couple people that are close, you'll be pulling it back and forth from each other the entire match.
So
there can only be one.
So it increases damage output for that character.
It's an item equivalently to an item power worth of buff that scales off of Discordia's level, so it scales up throughout the game.
Okay, so that's a passive. The first ability then is called Unruly Magic. That's
right.
Tell me about Unruly Magic.
So first, let's take a look at the target here. What we can see is we got combining elements of two of our target types.
That's
like
interesting.
We got the ground targeter circle moving through the center, and we also have our line attack line to the outside, and then we have some extra stuff. So what we're doing here is you're actually firing a projectile that ends where the ground target circle is, but it will pass through and hit and damage every enemy in between. So you can use it as a lane clear tool, and then once it hits there, in the spot where the circle is, it's going to fire out secondary projectiles in 6 directions. And 2 of those are in the direction that you're facing, and the opposite
that's so
direction you're
cool.
facing. That's right.
Wow,
so
that's different.
Those projectiles, once they get out, they will bounce off the walls. Each one of them does about
I love
a
her
quarter of
just
the damage
fairy
of the main
vibe.
projectile, but there are 6 of them, so you can
That's
technically
so
do more
cool.
damage with the secondary projectiles than you can
Really
with the initial
different.
projectile. You're also going to see, so if they're small and they travel at such a speed that if you're facing it, they're relatively easy to juke. But if you fire behind somebody, then they have a choice to either face you and continue watching what you're doing, or turn to try to juke the projectiles and avoid the damage, and thus be facing away and be a little bit more vulnerable. Unless you can potentially set them up with another ability.
And Narrow Corridor seems like a great place to use that ability.
Sure, because you're gonna even if those initial projectiles do miss, and if you hit right on the center, you can actually hit 5 or 6 times just from the initial fire. But even if they do miss in a narrow corridor where there are others walls, they can bounce off and get a chance to hit on a bounce.
Okay, this is looking really cool. So
yeah, a lot of things going on. This ability definitely has even some more nuances to it. You can throw it through walls, but the targeter itself will make sure it snaps to a legal target, so you don't deploy it inside of a wall.
That's cool.
But it will pass through and deal damage.
Okay.
You can also also to note is that the warm up before it explodes does not deal more damage. So while it's bouncing, it's kind of turned off for a second and then turned back on.
Gotcha.
So you really have to hit with the initial pulse, and then you have time to kind of look and react and position yourself to watch out for those extra explosions. So it's just a really cool new type of shape for a mage range damage ability.
Yeah.
I can't get over the floating animation of it just walking around. Strife
she's like
is
swimming in
ability,
there.
AJ. Tell me a little bit about Strife.
This is her signature move, Strife. This is what
that's
Discordia does.
interesting.
And in her lore, she creates strife between people. So we translated that as most literally as we could into the game. So this ability is a unique targeter shape again. What it'll do is it'll deal burst damage after it deploys. It's got a pretty good deploy time. And then it'll deal bonus damage. If there's only one target in it, it'll root them. Okay. But if there are 2 gods or 2 minions, they will turn and fight each other.
Oh, that's
and
good.
fight nearby allies. So
it's like Circuit in Mage.
Yeah, they'll focus nearest target of the same type. Gods will attack gods, and minions will attack minions. Or jungle camps will attack each other too.
Really?
Jungle camp.
That's
yeah.
cool.
So you have to hit multiple people for the really big payoff and to see the madness effect, which we've only really used before on.
That's so
Circuit.
cool.
Yeah.
So we wanted to bring the madness back. We
I
thought
feel
that
like
was
I'm gonna play her a
extremely
lot.
Fitting to her lore and to her character, and even in the very early
her abilities look so cool.
We have the CC that's
so
pretty
girly.
Cool. It's only on 1 god, and it's pretty hard to hit. So here it is here, and it is pretty difficult to catch 2 gods in there, but that's because it's a very powerful effect. Sure. It's going to turn your camera a little bit to the side, so you could toward your allies.
Her jump's pretty funny
CC
too.
you effectively taunting or fearing you for a moment while you attack your allies.
Is that the overall length of that? Does it increase to the duration of the?
It is
the
1 second locked per all ranks.
Okay, so it's not going to increase or anything.
It is a little too strong for that.
And the root's around 1 second too.
The root is also 1 second in all ranks. So the CC is consistent here. What you just get is damage per scaling.
I like the fact that if you hit 1 target, you at least get some payoff for it, other than the damage. So
and even with just 1 target, it's actually a potent setup for the 1. So using that 2-1 combo is pretty useful.
It's nice, feels good 2-1 combo.
Okay, well we'll move on to the next ability as well because we've still got 2 more to go. Erratic behavior is the next one, Fish. Something tells me it's going to be erratic.
Sure, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. So at its basic level, it is a route into a circle area that while she's in it, she stealths. You can see that. But there's actually a lot going on in here. While she's in there, she's stealthed. If she takes damage, she'll have the damage numbers above her, but she will not unstealth. If she fires and deals damage with her abilities, she will briefly reveal herself, but then go back into stealth as long as she's in that field. Also, while she's in there, her movement speed is increased, so she can kind of juke around within that confined space. So if you have like a Scylla Crush, you're like, well, you're going to be somewhere in here. There's nothing she can do. Yeah. But if you're doing like basic attacks in there or something, she can kind of juke around with that increased movement speed. Also, and kind of the signature point of this ability is that while she's there, if her 1 or 2 are on cooldown, that cooldown decreases faster.
Look at those numbers go.
So the circle lasts for 5 seconds, and every half-second tick that she's in there, it reduces the cooldowns of her 1 and 2 if they're on cooldown by an amount that increases per rank. So you can use it. You can obviously use it defensively as an escape, as an avoidance tool.
Oh, it reduces your cooldown?
Aggressively, like, okay, I don't really care about the stealth. I'm gonna keep revealing myself with my abilities. I just want my abilities to come back so I can put more power or more damage into the fight.
Wow.
If that's what you choose.
It doesn't. Obviously, I was just looking at that. It doesn't.
She looks so fun.
Only the 1 and 2.
Stealth.
That's right. And not the ult either.
Well, not the ultimate either.
It's a very kind of unique take on a combo mage ability. So we had kind of Thoth Wall, which had a little bit of his positioning firing through it, and we have things like Agni Fumes This is one that's a little bit, it's not as forced, like you don't need to use it, but when you want to maximize your potential with it, you can do a lot of damage.
I think it's a relatively good escape too. She can just use that to escape out of fights.
And that's always the the payoff there of like, well, is your
she dashes. It's kind of slow, but
if you do that or more control in the fight,
maybe you won't have to escape if you can just murder them.
And although it's short range, it is fairly effective as an escape. You get the immunity frames as a true leap would. It is a leap, so it'll be it's a Willixable.
I'd say I was a little bit worried about it until I saw like the area is actually quite.
Wonder what her ult does.
Like it's easy to hit a mage ability on top of that. Any sort of like mage ability. Even just think about an Agni bomb or anything like that.
We've had some great playtests. Just a couple days ago, we were playtesting. Pawn was jungling against me as I was playing Discordia, and I stealthed, and he Bastet catched. And since I'm stealthed, all the cats didn't see me, so they just stood there.
Where'd you go?
And Pawn was like swinging in the circle trying to unstealth me.
Here.
He
eventually
did. Yeah, the claws came back up, and he eventually did hit me and kill me. But for a moment there, we were in like this perfect dance of just trying to hide from each other. It was really fun. It's a really unique ability.
Well, I guess it's time to move on to the ultimate. And I see a picture of a golden apple. The ability is called Golden Apple of Discord, and you mentioned the golden apple about the lore.
Of course.
So I'm guessing.
Ricochet.
So here it is, the Golden Apple of Discord.
What?
This is her signature, from her lore. This is her signature weapon, is her apple, and she holds this around. So for her ultimate, she's going to enlarge this apple and throw it in a line, and it's going to bounce.
That's interesting.
And it's got, all of her abilities have kind of these discordant note musical elements to them. So this ability does a couple things.
Oh, really?
First of all, it's got a completely new type of effect that we've never done before. So, and to go along with Discordia's theming, she turns people against each other, or whoever's got this apple clearly thinks they're the greatest.
Yeah.
They think they're the best. This is to the best. So when you hit an enemy with this apple, it's going to deal damage.
Right.
It's going to put a AoE effect around them that is a delayed detonate damage.
Okay.
And it's going to force them...
Heart Bomb-esque?
Yes, kind of Heart Bomb-esque. And you want to make sure your allies stay away from you when you're doing that. So you want to get away from your allies. It makes you really insufferable to your allies. They will not like you if you're holding the apple. And it's also going to cause you to taunt spam emote. As you can hear
Taunt spam, that's hilarious.
You're going to say, I'm the greatest to your own team when you get hit by it.
So as soon as it hits one person, it won't keep rolling.
So what happens is it can detonate and spread one time.
Right.
So whoever's initially hit
is the one that's going to be targeted.
Is going to be the bomb. And if you are in the area, you just get a single target version applied to you that also does damage at the beginning and end. Gotcha. But it can't spread multiple times, so it's going to...
Do you lose control of your god when you do that? That's so funny.
You hear them taunting?
Yeah, I get. So this is if Circa and Cupid had a baby in terms of this ability.
And Hercules.
And Hercules.
And, they're all taunting.
They're all
and Hercules.
Greatest.
And is there anyone? I don't think there's anyone else who forces emotes. That's what I'm saying. That's the big.
That's the new tech.
It's very new, and it's mostly for presentation, but it's fits the abilities.
That's
theme of
so funny.
Whoever's holding the apple is like this complete narcissist that nobody wants to be around.
So it's just damage they take from it, and then more damage after the fact.
Right. It's damage. It does have a bit of CC.
Kind of like a big Cupid heart bomb.
So let me give over the just simple game designing effects without all the extra presentation.
A lot going on here.
Damage.
Yeah.
Initial. While you're afflicted by the apple, you are crippled and intoxicated.
Crippled
this is
and
going to prevent
intoxicated.
you from doing anything too crazy as far as where the area is going to be.
Right.
You're going to have a little bit of your movement loss, but you won't be leaping away. So this makes your teammates have to avoid you. And then the same thing happens again. So it's damage, cripple, intoxicate, damage. And anyone who gets hit by it gets the same effects applied to them.
Can it juggle
That's so cool.
No. It can only spread one time.
Only the first person can possibly spread it.
Okay.
Everyone else just
so the second
effects.
person who gets it can't pass it back to the first person.
Correct. There's no further. Only the see this one's AOE.
Yes.
The next one, single target. So it's the same effects, but
really cool.
That's great.
So you really, you want to be careful about this one. If you do get hit, your teammates might be blaming you.
And you can bounce it off walls as well around corners. And
the spam taunt is just
hilarious. And then you have the extra presentation flair of the taunt spam and VGS spam.
So it's Hercules Boulder mixed with Ricochet for the bouncing targeter onto a Cupid heart bomb that detonates just like a Circa Ultimate
with
one.
Intoxicate.
With Intoxicate from Bacchus. A
so
cripple
many.
effect.
Yeah,
okay.
holy crap.
Hindu, at what point do we just call it a new ability instead of just trying to talk about how many abilities
so if we put these 12 things together, we can arrive at this thing.
I'm just trying to break it down of like what's all involved in this ability. That's all. It's crazy.
So like a cell phone is like a landline plus a walkie-talkie.
And it's kind of mixed with like a Nox ult too, because you can like
for the low
throw it straight.
So, and the
a lot of things going on.
To add on that though, so when you get hit by it, you say I'm the greatest, and when you spread it, any gods who take the second hit will go, no, I'm the greatest.
That's because they have the golden apple.
Yeah, and then they'll be everyone will be taunt spamming the whole time if you get hit by it.
That's too
well,
good.
It's definitely what Discordia does. That's for sure.
There you go.
We should have a listening to the. Oh, that was loud. Someone put my ears.
A whole bunch of Odins doing their alt at once.
Well, I think it was ready for the voice pack, and then Pon decided.
Yeah, sorry, Pon. You can see the I'm the greatest, and then no, I'm the greatest.
Okay, let's have a listen in to the voice pack now for Discordia.
You little troublemaker. Strife will reign! I love watching them fight over me. None of your team respects you. You know that, right? You should let them die. Is that as hard as you can hit? I was hoping for more. A lot more. Last time I didn't get invited to the party, I started a war, so yeah. Other gods and goddesses already hate me. What's a few more?
I think a lot of people are going to hate
fight and die and fight and die over and over. I love it.
Now,
she looks
she
fun.
also has a other skin, which we should be able to go to momentarily. The recolored skin, which we always do release with a new god as well.
Of course.
Oh,
we got some
pink
darker
hair.
colors I like it. And some pinks here.
Bright pink
like
to complement her theming of being, you know, generally evil and turning people against
like
each
her
other,
dress.
but having a great time while she does it. She
This
just
god
thinks
is
it's hilarious.
It's
pretty crazy.
I mean, while we're looking at her when we go to the skin in game, obviously with how she's
Oh,
going to be.
I like it.
I like the comparison.
I feel like she
Pink
could
wings.
jungle some.
So yes, the way the one explodes, the way you can place that on jungle camps, it does give her pretty good jungle clear, but the base projectile is also significantly lower than a lot of other mage damaging, so it's really not absurd.
Okay.
And the mini projectiles, you know, increase their damage per rank, heavily on per rank with a very small bit of power scaling, so her early jungle clear is definitely strong, but I wouldn't necessarily say that it's like completely blows away other mages.
Okay. But mainly mid lane then, but she could jungle quite early.
She could. She mostly mid lane, but could jungle.
The match of the day normally comes out when the new god comes out, and it's just all Discordia.
This
That's
is
going
to be especially chaotic.
That'll be pretty funny.
Although they are always especially chaotic in those. Like,
yeah, but with that many apples going around, everyone's screaming about who's the best. To go,
it's going to be intense.
This god looks really interesting, very fun, and an exciting addition towards the mid lane, I guess. We'll see how if she does get nerfed or get buffed. We'll find out as always.
Very interested to find out as well.
PTS, we were talking about. Do we know? Have we a hard day yet? It could be soon. Just
it's been
soon.
Yeah, it's been tough. This is just a huge patch.
Stay on the Twitters. We'll send out as soon as it's up.
Keep an eye out for High-Res Chris is usually the go-to on that. I'm sure him and the QA team, you know, Capslock and Carrie and those guys are working hard on
Well, she looks really fun.
It's time for some more esports.
That took a while.
Almost. Thank you so much for joining us.
Let's get down for
we
esports.
We do have a sneak peek of the skin, I believe.
I didn't know we did that today.
For you guys.
That's cool.
Maybe? No?
We do not.
I got told yes, and now I got told no. So maybe
wow, what a bait!
Skin spoiler. That's on me. I'll take the blame. Don't worry about that one. Guys, before I let you go, who is your favorite thing in the patch?
Discordia. Come on.
Oh, this is such a good day. We got adventures. We got the new goddess, and we also have some fantastic esports. I love it all.
It's all a good day. That's for sure. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us.
Thank you, Hindu Man.
Now, gentlemen, boys and girls, ladies at home, if you've been watching the caster over the last few weeks, it's finally come to the final day to give you an announcement of who's going to win. For that, we're going to give you a quick recap of exactly how we got to where we are and who is in the finals.
See, Fernando, he has to turn tail and run, and he's dying.
Alright, guys, well, I'm going to stop it there. That was a really good patch. I'm excited for Discordia and the new adventures, so hope you enjoyed the patch as well, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.